Good evening, squaddies, or if you're listening to this during the daytime, good morning, or good afternoon. How are we? How are we all? Oh my goodness, this week has been wild. So it is kicking off in the Step Challenge groups. Will released a curveball yesterday, and my phone hasn't stopped buzzing, but it's so incredible to see your energy and so wonderful to see all the teams working together to get to the bottom of the curveball. And also well done on all the bonus steps. So I'm very proud to say that my team, we were the highest of participation for the bonus step class. So yes, team, come on, Lady Lorna of the High Seas, shipshape plankers. Yes, this is what we like. So we're on our way to Tortuga. Who's going to win? Well, who knows? But as Tech Will would say, if you're not first, you're last. No, just ignore that. Ignore that. We're not competitive here. We're not. It's all about taking part. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I had a really exciting meeting today. I had a very, very exciting corporate meeting. And you know when you just talk to people and you really bounce off each other's energy and you come up with loads of ideas, it sparks other ideas in your mind. So it was very much a meeting like that today. And yeah, we've got some incredible things in the pipeline. And so if you do want anything corporate-wise, talks, workshops, classes, you name it, we do it, gang. So just let me know. But I'm really, really buzzing from it. And for me, it's really, really nice to see a business who is really serious about taking their employee well-being to the next level. And, you know, creating something that people actually engage in. So it's not just like fruit on a Friday or 20% off a gym membership. It's actually something that people will do and use. So it's really nice and really refreshing to see a business that's looking after their employees. So that's what I did today. And then before you do the Q&A, one more thing. Next week, we're going to be on the retreat in Greece. So we did it last year. We went to Amorgos, which is this little island just off Santorini. So Santorini is where Will and I got married. If you've never been, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous island. You've got to go. It's a really good time of year to go now or September. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it might be useful. Out of school season, because in the summer it can get really busy there. So October is actually really nice to go. Anyway, and Morgos is a little island just off Santorini, and that's where we're going to be. Well, actually, yeah, this weekend, kind of. We're going on Friday. So my plan, team, and I've not done this before, but I'm going to give it a go, going to give it a trial. My plan is to live stream, so go live from the retreat in Amorgos. Just one class a day, so Monday to Friday. I'm going to see how it goes, okay? So Wi-Fi depending, fingers crossed. Last time the Wi-Fi was really good, so fingers crossed. If anything happens, of course we've got live replay up our sleeves anyway. So we're going to have a bit of a different timetable for 1 week only. It'll be the retreat takeover, and every day you need to tell your friends, tell your family. We're doing 1,000 step class Monday to Friday at 6 o'clock in the morning. So 1,000 steps. It'll be 8 in Greece, but anyway, 6 o'clock in the morning UK time. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. 1,000 steps live on the Lorna Marie Fitness Facebook page. So make sure you're there. Let's get some steps in. It'll be really fun. We did it last year and it was just a real fun way to start the day and get some steps in, and just it's a nice little energizing boost, and we all get to start the day together. If you do the class at 6:30, we call it 6:30 AM Club, you'll know what I'm on about, you'll know what I'm talking about. So anyway, it's time for me to get on with the questions, isn't it? Let's go. Let's do the questions. Now I don't know if, can I open this up in another page? Bear with, because I want to be able to read the questions as I go along. Sorry, read your comments as I go along. Lorna is live. Yeah, I am, but where do I find it? There I am. Oh, 5 of you are live with me. Hi, guys. Right, okay, here we go. Questions. I'm going to do them in order. 5 weeks into the course and the challenges give me great motivation as I don't want to let the team down. What can I do to help to continue with the same mindset when I'm back exercising for me alone? Oh, that is so great. Do you know what? These challenges give you a proper little boost, don't they? And this is what we need, like taking us through the year, like ticking, keep us ticking over. That's what I meant to say. Keep us ticking over. You need a goal and you need something to be working towards, no matter what that is. And these challenges are great because we're all doing it together. Now, what I will be doing is I'll be giving everybody a focus in November. I haven't revealed it yet, but as a squad, we're going to be having a focus. And we did it in September, so we had a stress management focus, and there was a bit of a timetable takeover where there were some additional different classes. We're going to be having a different focus for November. But generally speaking, what you want to be doing is not relying on motivation. You want to be relying on consistency in your routine. So it's going to be a case of every Sunday putting a notification in your calendar or something that is going to remind you, whatever that is, an alarm maybe, to plan your classes for the week ahead. Put your classes in your journal and show up for you. And what I would do as well is keep it at the same time. So the reason why the 6:30 club works so well, I just love that 6:30 club, or maybe you're part of the 5:30 club, is because it's that consistency. If you show up every day at the same time, Monday to Friday, it becomes part of your day to day and something that you just do and you don't even need to think about it anymore. But you could even make yourself like mini goals along the way, or you could set yourself a little challenge. Like, okay, I'm going to do, sometimes we do like 30 and 30 challenge, so 30 classes in 30 days. Or you could say, right, I'm going to do 21 in 30 days. Whatever it might be for you, you could set yourself a little mini challenge like that. But I would say consistency is key. And also, if you don't want to let anyone down and you need to be accountable to other people, what I would do is comment on the accountability posts that I put up every day. So every day without fail, I put an accountability post on the group. And if you comment on that post, you've said that you're going to be there. You're accountable to you. It's in writing. You've told me. You're accountable to me. And you've also told everybody in the squad that you're going to be there. So you can't let anyone down. So there you have it. That's what you want to do. Question number 2. I'm significantly overweight and also have a shoulder issue, burstitis, which is restricting movement in that joint. It means that a lot of the yoga poses feel impossible for me. I did Yogascape this week, and whilst I enjoyed moving with the group, I love the music that accompanied it, I worry that as I'm not able to do the moves properly, that I'm not seeing the benefit. What do you think? Would I be better focusing on cardio and strength? Okay, so what I think is you absolutely need the full balance. So cardio, they're all good for different reasons. So cardio is really important for your heart and your lung health, releasing those feel-good endorphins too. So that's important for that. Your strength is extremely important for your muscles, for your bone density. And the holistic work, so the yoga, the Pilates, is really important for your flexibility and mobility. So it is just as important as the cardio and strength. So I wouldn't say just focus on those. We need a balance here. But if some of the moves aren't right for you, it's really important to adapt for your body. So when you're thinking about, say, some of the shoulder things, and I'm thinking, so in Yogascape, the first 2 tracks are sun salutations. The rest of the class, you won't have any weight bearing on your shoulders. So it's just literally the first 2 tracks where there's a bit of downward facing dog action. So the purpose of a downward facing dog is to lengthen your spine. So let's say in a sun salutation, you reach up towards the ceiling, you come down in a forward fold, that opens up the back. You lengthen in a halfway lift like a tabletop. If you're listening to this, by the way, you won't know what on earth I'm doing right now, but I'm kind of demonstrating. You're in a tabletop, so your back's nice and long, and then you forward fold. Then you come down to the floor, and then you do your downward dogs, etc. But what you could do is when everyone's doing a downward dog, remember, you're in the comfort of your own home. No one's watching, no one's judging. If you think the purpose of that move is to lengthen your back, well, you could come back into tabletop again, and you could lengthen your spine that way. Or you could do a child's pose. So when everybody is, weight bearing through their shoulders, doing a downward facing dog, you could be in a child's pose, which is with your arms stretched out and your bottom towards your heels and your knees are down. So there's no weight bearing on the shoulders, yet you're still getting this lovely length in your back. So you could do that instead. So there's ways that you can adapt. What I would do is definitely don't give up on it. It's such a fantastic workout. And if it's just that, it's just the shoulder thing, you're going to get so much benefit from the rest of the class, you know, with releasing the back, with working your flexibility in your hips and the back of the legs and doing the twists to, again, release your back. Anyway, you're going to get so much benefit from doing that class. If it's just literally because of a shoulder issue, let's just work around it. There's so much you can do. Let's focus on what we can do. And if you're not sure about what moves to do, you know, when we're doing the weight bearing, just message me and then I can tell you, I can give you some ideas on what to do. But it's just a case of tweaking things slightly. And the beauty of Yogascape, I said that really weirdly then, did you hear that? Yogascape. The beauty of Yogascape is it's the same release for a few weeks. So you will soon get to learn the routine and you'll get to know, you know, where you usually tweak. Oh, right, they're doing that. Right, that's the bit where I do that. See what I mean? So it'll become easier. But yeah, don't give up on it. Definitely don't give up on it. We just need to tweak and adapt, that's all. I feel quite affected by my monthly cycle. How can I plan exercise to work with my cycle, please? Okay, so I just want to say here, a lot of people do need to alter their exercise plan around the cycle. And a lot of people really don't. Like, you don't need to think about it. If it affects you personally, then yes, you just need to adapt. But if it doesn't, there's, you know, a lot of people can think way too much into this. You don't need to. So I would start to track how you feel. You want to build the data around how you feel. So how long does your cycle last for? You know, is it 30? Is it 32? What is it? Write it down, or 28. Write down so you've got like a little idea of how long it lasts. Maybe you already know. How long does your actual period last? Let's write that down and let's work out where we are and work out how you feel. Generally, on the way up towards ovulation, which is roughly about day 14-ish, you will start to feel your energy levels pick up. So after our period and up to ovulation, you start to feel your energy levels pick up. And on the day of ovulation, that is normally like where your peak, like, come on. And then beyond that point, sorry if this is too much information, but I hope this is useful. Beyond that point, you may start to feel your energy levels dip a little bit, but not everyone reacts in this way. Not everybody responds in this way. So it really does depend on you. And some people in the menstrual cycle, you know, on the week that you've actually got your period, or the 5 days, or however long it is for you, can feel really rubbish. Maybe you might be getting cramps. Maybe your energy might be really low. Maybe it's really heavy. And in that case, it's just really important to adapt. So it might be a case on those days you switch to things like gentle walking or stretching or yoga. And then on the follicular phase, going up towards ovulation, that might be where you're like, right, I'm going to smash the HIIT workouts and I'm going to lift really heavy and stronger. And then after that point, you might start to notice that you're feeling a little bit more sluggish. So you might need to pull it back a little bit, and you might be doing things like lighter cardio or maybe some Pilates or something. So it's really important to base it around how you feel. But what I would do is just have your plan and adapt as you go along. I think that's what's most important. So have that flexibility. So you've got your range target, your 3 to 5 classes a week, or whatever that is for you, whatever your range is, and then be flexible and adapt along the way as you need to. So listen to your body and start to build that data. What does your normal month look like? What does your normal energy levels look like? Because we're all so different. I couldn't give a plan right now and be like, right, do you know what? You're in your luteal phase right now, so do you know what you need to do? Just Pilates. Like, I can't do that because everyone is going to be so different. Some people might not even feel it. I choose to try not to think about it. So I will personally just carry on doing everything as normal, totally regardless. And if I wake up one day and my energy levels just don't feel there, I will adapt in terms of how much effort I put in, or I might need to change the workout. I normally just pull back a little bit in whatever I'm doing. Unless I'm really ill, then of course, then I'm gonna switch things out, have a rest day or whatever. But generally speaking, that works for me, but it doesn't work for everybody. So you just have to adapt to you. Any ideas to boost immunity? Oh my gosh, there's so much going around at the moment, isn't there? So much going around, it's unbelievable. Honestly, everyone I speak to at the moment is like dropping like flies. Okay, to boost your immunity, some of it's going to be stuff you already know, some of it you may not know. Anyway, this is what you want to focus on. Number one, get enough sleep. Sleep is where your body repairs itself. It repairs you physically and mentally, but sleep's really important, especially getting, that deep restorative sleep. So you want to be aiming for, depending on the person, roughly about 7 to 9 hours per night. I mean, you know what's right for you. You know when you wake up in the morning how you feel. So make sure you're getting enough sleep, you're going to bed at a consistent bedtime, you're waking up at the same time. The most common mistake you see with sleep is not having a consistent bedtime. You've got to be really strict on it, and you've got to keep that so that you get good restorative sleep. So that is number one. Number two is going to be thinking about your diet, so making sure that it's really nutrient dense, so really dense in fruits, in vegetables, in whole grains, in lean protein. Think about what comes out of the ground and focus your diet mainly on that stuff, as opposed to things that have been processed in a factory. Like, of course, yeah, that's absolutely fine. But if you're thinking about your immunity, your fruits and veggies, really, really good. Your whole grains, really great. So thinking about giving yourself a real balanced diet and making sure you're getting enough nutrients and minerals in there. Water, stay super hydrated. That is really, really important. Making sure you're exercising regularly. That's massively important. And also make sure that you are managing your stress. So stress is a stress on the body. And when our body is stressed, we can be more susceptible to picking things up. So you want to be making sure you're managing your stress with maybe things like yoga or Yogascape or meditation or breath work, whatever works for you. Other things that could help would be like supplementation, like zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D, but it's always best to speak to healthcare provider, practitioner first, of course, but there's just a few ideas. Or eating foods that are rich in those things. You can literally Google and you'll get a huge list, but they're the main vitamins that you want to be looking out for. So vitamin D, C, and zinc. All right. I've bought a barbell. Oh, I just want to add to the last one actually. With the immunity one. If you are feeling run down, just making sure that you adapt accordingly as well. Making sure that you're not overtraining. So a lot of people do a lot of exercise, and if you are coming down with something, your body just needs that energy to help you fight it. So that's just one other thing that I could add to that. Okay, I've bought a barbell, but I don't really know where to start or what weight to use. Are any of the strength classes suitable? Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Yes, they are. And woo, you got a barbell. Oh yeah. So if this is your first time ever using a barbell, I would head to On Demand and click the how-to area, because I break down every single barbell move in there that we use in our classes. So I'd go along to there, have a look at the moves, and then I would be getting on stronger. And so you'll be able to use all the moves that you've learnt in stronger. And I would be doing that regularly, like a couple of times a week. And you can also look at strength intervals. That's another good one for barbell. Hit with weights as well, slightly faster. So I don't know if I would start with hit with weights. I would probably start on controlled strength intervals and stronger to begin. But even before that stage, just head to the how-to area. Any top tips or advice to help muscle recovery? What are the best classes to do? So for muscle recovery, the best things that you can do would be making sure you're eating enough protein. Your body needs protein to help its muscles repair. Making sure you're staying hydrated enough, and sleep. They're the top 3 things that you want to be doing. So that is literally where your body repairs itself and gets stronger. So those 3 things are key, first and foremost. In terms of the classes to do, you want to be promoting blood flow and circulation to help your muscles repair themselves. So I would be looking at classes like Pilates, yoga, Yogascape, stretch, things like that, just to ones that are gentle, so they're not going to cause any extra strain on your body, but ones that promote mobility and blood flow. And also you could even go on a walk, or power walking even. They would be good ones to do, just to help ease the body there. Another thing you could do is foam rolling. Some people swear by it. Some people say it doesn't really work for them, or massaging. Again, same thing, but there's just another couple more ideas. What can I do to increase weight loss when I feel like I'm eating a healthy diet and doing lots of exercise already? Okay, so do you know what your diet looks like in general throughout the week? You need that consistency with your diet, because if you don't know where you are with your diet and what you're eating, this is going to be very, very hard. Discount the exercise. If you're already doing loads of exercise, let's put that aside for one moment. I'm presuming you're giving yourself rest days here, adequate rest. So with that presumption that you are having rest days, you're giving your body enough rest to repair, and you're not overtraining, then if you're eating a healthy diet, it's going to come down to your portion sizes. Small tweaks are where it's at. If you want to increase your weight loss, like in theory, the less you eat, the faster you lose weight. But we don't do it like that. And the reason we don't do it like that is because that is not a quick, effective, or a healthy way to do it. So a lot of people who go to the extreme, you know, they will find that actually their energy levels are so bad, they're completely irritable, and they just feel horrendous, that they can't keep up with it, and then end up thinking, oh, this isn't working, and looking for another quick fix, or just then overeating, and then ending up in a kind of binge restrict cycle, which is just horrendous. So what we actually want to do is, great, you're eating a healthy diet, that's fantastic, brilliant. Now what we want to do is just adjust the portion sizes and make them a bit smaller. If you find that your weight loss isn't happening at a rate that you want it to, or you feel like you're in a plateau right now, then that's what we need to do. So Tech Will is currently ringing me. Do I answer his call in the middle of the Q&A? Would it be important? If he rings again. If he rings again. What a bad wife I am. Anyway, no, I'm actually a really good wife. Anyway. That was totally irrelevant. Now, with weight loss, you might be thinking, all right then, Lorna, so what is a good rate to lose weight? You know, when am I going too far with it? When am I not? We always recommend, I say me, I always recommend 1 to 2 pounds a week max. And that can be average over the month. So some weeks you might find that your weight doesn't move, and then the next week you've lost 2 pounds, or it doesn't move for a couple of weeks and then you lose some weight. So that's something to bear in mind. And throughout time, so when you first start on a weight loss journey, you might find that the weight loss is pretty consistent. It's quite easy at the beginning, and then it starts to plateau and it gets harder, and you might feel a little bit stuck. That is because there is less of you. There is less actual mass of you. You are actually a smaller person because you have less body fat. So therefore, your BMR, so your basal metabolic rate, will be slightly different, and you will need to adjust. So that will be where you tweak your portion size again, we adjust to restart it going again. We don't want to make it too fast because it's unsustainable, and then actually when you hit maintenance, it can be really, really tricky to understand what you actually need to be eating in order to maintain your weight. So we want it to be going at a decent enough rate that, you know, it's actually working. But at the same time, we don't want it to be too quick, because we don't want you to feel rubbish, and we want this to be sustainable as well, so that when you reach your goal, your maintenance healthy weight, that you can just maintain that, and you've already kind of been doing it. So it's not that much different, if you see what I mean. So a pound a week, maximum £2 a week weight loss, but it is going to be a case of manipulating the portion sizes if you're already eating healthy and you're already exercising, and just having that patience. The only way that it'll never work is if we give up. So the only way it won't work is if we quit early, and we're not going to do that, right? And if you need any extra help, just message me. What's the way to recover with a pulled muscle rather than DOMS? Oh no, I've pulled something in my back, but I don't want to stop exercising completely. Oh my goodness. So with a pulled muscle, you know what, you really need to rest it. You really need to rest the area, avoid doing anything that aggravates it. You might want to try applying ice for the first couple of days, so the first 24, 48 hours, and maybe even then trying to switch to heat to encourage blood flow. So maybe try that. I mean, I can't advise here really. If it's not feeling okay after a couple of days, really monitor it, take it easy. And if it continues, so even if it continues, say like a week or so, I would just get in touch with the physio. You may, depending on how you feel, want to do some really gentle stretching and low impact movement. So maybe just like some real gentle walking to keep the circulation going. But you definitely want to be avoiding anything that's going to aggravate your back any further. So until it's fully healed. It's one of those where if you pulled a muscle, you don't want to make it worse, right? Because it's going to take longer to get back to doing the stuff that you like doing and you want to do. There's one of those where you kind of have to grit your teeth a little bit and just rest. Okay, rest is best, apart from maybe some gentle movement or low impact movement, if that feels okay for you, until it's fully healed. I know that's hard. I know it's hard, but you'll soon be back to it. How to deal with jet lag when going away to long haul destinations and then coming back home. Oh my goodness me. It can be hard, can't it? It can be so hard. Now, me and Will have a very different theory to this, but one thing I would say that you could do actually is if you go onto a holiday area, we've actually got some top tips for this. I'm just getting the Q&A up now just in case anybody has asked any questions. So we have actually got some top tips for this, so you can go and look on there. But me and Will have a very different approach. He tries his best to try and sleep and grab naps wherever he can, and I'm very much, I will keep myself awake until it's bedtime in the country that I'm going to. And I find that actually helps quite a lot to get into the new time zone a lot faster. So I will just forget UK time. It's awful, when you go away on long haul and people start saying, oh yeah, but it's not actually that time, is it? It's actually 1 o'clock. And you're thinking, no, don't remind me of that. So that's just useless. Don't think about what time it is, where you've just come from. Get yourself into the new time zone. This is Lorna's top tips. Get yourself into the new time zone as soon as you can. Just adapt to their ways. So if it means you've got to stay up longer or try and go to bed a little bit earlier, do that. Some people start to adjust before they travel. So they will start to change their sleep times a little bit and start to tweak it hour by hour. I personally don't do that, but that can be very, very effective to do that. Other things that you could do is like stay hydrated during the flight the best you can, avoiding things like caffeine or alcohol while you're on your flight, and maybe just trying to get like enough sleep before you go. Get outside in the daylight as well, because natural sunlight can really, really help you like reset your internal clock. But they're sort of my top tips, how to deal with jet lag. And it's just a case of, trying to get as much restorative sleep as you can, looking after yourself the best you can. So if your sleep's going to be a bit out of whack, you're going to be feeling a little bit a bit tired and possibly a bit headachy and a bit all over the place. Control the controllables, stay hydrated, fuel your body, nourish your body with all the good stuff, and do some light exercise as well, definitely. And then, yeah, I just try and get myself into the time zone that I've just entered as quickly as possible, even if it's hardballing. meaning that I'm not getting much sleep. Okay, next. How can I improve my balance when doing lunges? Aha, okay. What you want to be doing is make sure you are engaging your core properly. And if your core is an area that you need to work on, I would say that make sure you're doing some regular Pilates a couple of times a week. But make sure that when you're doing your lunges, your feet are hip distance apart, or they might need to be ever so slightly wider, and you've got a really long step backwards. So a lot of people really struggle with their balance because their feet aren't wide enough, meaning that they're basically on a tightrope, or they cut it short, so they cut their lunge too short. Take a long step backwards so you can make a 90-90 degree with both knees. So right angles with your knees pretty much. Make sure your front leg is parallel to the floor. You're pressing down through your heel, so you've got the glute engagement, and you're pushing your front knee towards your little toe. I'd also have a look at the how-to area for this as well, because I break down a lunge. The feet are hip distance apart, and what you could also do is you could practice holding onto a wall. So you could practice holding onto a wall and then take your hand away, and yeah, keep doing that. But if you do, you should see me then. I didn't take my feet wide enough, so it is hard to balance. But there's nothing wrong with testing your balance at the same time. It's a good thing. But we do want to feel stable. We do want to feel stable. So long step back, feet hip distance apart or slightly wider. Practice with a wall if you need to. And then as you bend both knees to 90 degrees, watch where your front knee goes. Make sure you're engaging your glutes and your core is tight. I think you should be all good. What would you suggest is a good balance of weekly activity for average Annie, who doesn't work and has all the time in the world? What is her recipe for healthy, safe old age success? How many of this, how many of that? Oh, I love this. Average Annie. Oh, wicked. I would love to be average Annie and have all the time in the world. Average Annie sounds amazing. Right, this is what I would do, average Annie. If you've got all the time in the world and you're not sure about how much to do of what, in reality, it's completely up to you. The more you do of something, the more the benefit up to a certain point. And then you'll hit a plateau to the point of when you start to do more, then it actually becomes a disbenefit. So for example, let's say someone was doing 4 classes a week, they eke it to 5, to 6, to 7, and then all of a sudden, the extra benefit of the classes, I'm not saying that this is accurate, by the way, with the number of classes, I'm just saying the more of something you do. Okay, let's use a different example. Say I go running. If I went running once a week, that's good. If I go running twice a week, yeah, that's better than once. I'm going to get better at running. If I go running, I don't know why I'm doing this, by the way. I'm like doing a pretend run. If I go running 3 times a week, yeah, that's better than twice. I'm going to get better at running. If I go running 4 times a week, not really getting any extra benefit now. Probably about the same amount of benefit as 3. I go running 5 times a week. My knees start to ache. Back starts to hurt. I go running 6 times a week. My body can't recover. My muscles are hurting. My knees are hurting. My back's hurting. It's actually become a disbenefit. See what I mean? It depends on the person. So it's a different amount of activity per person. And of course, hopefully you'd be varying your workouts up anyway. So just bear that in mind. So it's called the law of diminishing returns. What I would do is, it depends where you're at right now as well. It depends where you're at. But if I was to say, okay, here's a plan, I would say you want to be doing strength training using equipment. That'd be booty band, it'd be stronger, controlled strength intervals, maybe hit with weights. You want to be doing that 2 to 3 times per week. So start with that, strength. Mobility, flexibility, same sort of thing, 2 to 3 times per week. Pilates, yoga, Yogascape, stretch, core. Then your cardio, you want to break it down. It's from either 150 minutes of moderate exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous. This is where there's a bit of a crossover with our classes. So our classes, like particularly our strength classes, we use lower weights and high repetition. And it's going to really work to tone your body. Yes, it works your strength, it works to tone your body, but it's not like super bodybuilding style strength. if you get me. So there's a bit of a crossover here. So for example, a half-hour stronger class, you could absolutely include in those 150 minutes. So if you start off with 150 minutes of moderate exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous, take your 2 or 3 strength classes, like how long are you going to spend on those? 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Okay, split those up into the week. Let's go Monday, Wednesday, Friday with our strength classes. Can we follow them up with some mobility or flexibility? Then you've got those in there. Or you could do those on the Tuesday, the Thursday and the Saturday, for example. And then what else could we fit into our week? Let's do some more formal cardio if you like. You could include stronger as cardio, but let's do some more formal cardio. What about a couple of sessions? Let's do aerobics and a power walking session, for example. And that will give you a really nice balance. On the flip side, you want to make sure that you've got minimum 1 rest day, but if you're doing a couple of rest days is probably better. So 1 to 2 rest days per week, strength training 2 to 3 times a week, mobility, flexibility training 2 to 3 times a week, and then similar with your cardio. The great thing about our classes is you can use bolt-ons. So for example, we might do like today we did a stronger class at 9:30 till 10. So there's half an hour strength there. You could then go onto the bolt-on area and do a 10-minute core workout. And there you go, you could do it like that. Or you could do a few. But if you're not sure and you want a really good balance of weekly activity for average Annie, do you know what I'd actually do? So you don't even have to think about it or overcomplicate it. I've got everybody covered if you just follow either the 6:30 classes or the 9:30 classes. So you could do those on live replay at 5:30 or 6. So if you can't make the mornings, you could do them in the evening, or alternatively, you could just follow them on demand, whenever works for you. So if you choose the time, 6:30, you come to the 6:30 class Monday to Friday, you've basically got your perfect workout balance. Same if you come to the 9:30s, I've got you covered. Or if you wanted to, if you've got all the time in the world, you could do 6:30, 9:30, boom. It depends on how much you're doing already. Like say if you're doing 3 classes a week, I wouldn't then say, all right, come to every 6:30 and every 9:30 then. But yeah, that is the best way to do it, and then you don't even have to think. I hope that's helpful. I hope that's useful. Anyway, gang, have you enjoyed that? I really, really hope you've enjoyed the Q&A, and I will see you tomorrow. So tomorrow we have, drum roll, I always keep the timetable on my computer, like not on my screensaver, what's it called? My wallpaper. Oh, speak of the devil, we've got Stronger tomorrow. Oh, we're doing Stronger number 2 at the moment, team. It's so good. Stronger. And then we're going to be doing the whole of the new Yogascape. So good. So Yogascape officially is going to be released at the end of the month. So we're still in the very final stages of like testing it all out. So I really, really, really love to hear your feedback. It won't be going on demand straight away, team, because we need to do it a few times first. Yeah. But come along and let me know what you think. I'm so excited. So I will see you at 6:30 or 9:30 or 5:30 or 6 o'clock tomorrow. Or, of course, I will see you on demand. Anyway, thanks for joining me, everybody, and I hope this has been helpful. I'll see you soon, team. Bye.